A raise is a compliment with strings attached. It says you did something right and then quietly asks what kind of person you'll be with more power. Most people answer that question by accident. They upgrade until the raise disappears. A bigger apartment absorbs it, a nicer car chews it. Dinners stretch, subscriptions multiply, vacations get shinier. Suddenly, the new number feels like the old number wearing a new shirt. That slow drift has a name, lifestyle creep, and it's not a moral failure, it's gravity. The trick isn't to feel guilty about wanting better. The trick is to design a rise that keeps what mattered about your life and grows what you truly care about without letting the raise become a list of new bills. This is a map to outsmart creep after a raise, using simple policies, a handful of rituals, and a system that gives you the joy you wanted without the handcuffs you didn't. Start by writing what the raise is for before the world writes it for you. Take 10 minutes on a quiet evening and answer 3 sentences. What about my current life is already good and should not change? What is currently painful that the raise can relieve? What will this raise buy in 5 years that today cannot? When you put it on paper, your brain stops shopping for random dopamine and starts funding a design. Maybe the raise buys you margin, less panic on the 28th. Maybe it buys you time, childcare hours, a cleaner twice a month, a shorter commute. Maybe it buys compounding, retirement contributions that finally look grown. If you don't answer, the algorithm will. The algorithm always answers more. Next, lock in a policy before the money hits your account. Creep thrives on improvisation. A policy is a simple split that tells your future self where each raise goes, so Tuesday you doesn't have to renegotiate with a mood. A classic, durable split is the 60-30-10. 60% of the raise to wealth, investments, debt payoff, emergency fund, 30 to intentional life upgrades you'll feel weekly, 10 to joy and generosity. If you're coming off a skinny season, you can flip to 40-40-20 for a year and then climb back. What matters is that wealth gets a mandatory slice every time, upgrades are chosen on purpose, and joy is funded inside a lane so it doesn't leak into subscriptions you don't remember approving. Automate the policy the day the raise becomes real. This is where creep loses power. If your employer supports split direct deposit, route percentages directly to savings and investments so they never touch checking. If not, schedule recurring transfers for the day after payday. One to a high-yield savings oxygen account for buffers and annual bills, one to retirement and brokerage accounts for compounding, one to a freedom fund that buys big goals on cash, and leave the rest to your spending account. You are not trying to be strong every month. You are trying to be strong once in a settings screen and then to forget, because forgetting is what creep depends on. Decide in advance which upgrades you'll allow and what problem they solve. Upgrades that remove friction almost always beat upgrades that perform status. A comfortable chair you sit in every day beats a logo you carry twice a month. A better pan that ends takeout on Thursdays beats a bar tab that proves nothing. A gym you actually go to beats a boutique you post about. Write one paragraph of allowable upgrades for this raise. Fix 3 daily annoyances, buy 1 tool that saves time, improve 1 health habit, and add 1 recurring delight that costs little and happens often. When you see the list, you stop browsing for identity and start shopping for a life that works. Put a speed limit on new fixed costs. Lifestyle creep doesn't come from the splurge, it comes from the subscription. Cap your new monthly obligations to a small fraction of the raise. Say no more than 25% becomes fixed bills. The rest funds one-off purchases, sinking funds, and investments. This keeps you nimble. If a surprise arrives or a layoff whispers your name, you can slow variable spending without tearing up contracts. Speed limits are boring. Boring is how people stay free. If housing is the first temptation, evaluate with a rule, not a mood. A larger place can be worth it. Shorter commute, safer neighborhood, less roommate chaos. But rent that rises to match your new pay is a check you write with tomorrow's energy. Use a simple threshold. After the raise and after increasing your saving and investing, housing should still be no more than a set percentage of take-home. Choose your cap, often 25 to 30% in expensive cities, lower where possible. If the upgrade pushes you over your cap, pass for now and instead fund a move fund with a date so you don't live in resentment. A planned move with cash is a flex. An unplanned move with a lease you can barely float is a trap disguised as marble countertops. Cars are where raises go to retire. If your current car is reliable and paid off, keep it and redirect the imagined payment to a car replacement fund so your next vehicle is cash, not penance. If your car is dying, buy sensible used with your fund and a short runway, not a payment that outlives your interest in the job you just got the raise for. A raise should make commutes calmer, not longer. If you want a status shot, take a picture of your brokerage balance growing and keep it in your phone where only your future cares. Subscriptions are the silent army of creep. After a raise, retailers and apps push small monthly offers that feel harmless. Individually, they are. Together, they're a second rent. Before you upgrade anything, run a 1-hour subscription audit. Open your app store and bank statements for the last 3 months. Cancel overlaps, downgrade tiers where you don't use features, pause seasonal services. Set all renewals to end unless renewed by you. Rename each survivor in your budgeting app with the problem it solves. Language learning, backups, movies for Fridays. When a charge shows up without a job, it leaves. You can always add joy back next quarter. You rarely add investments back if you remove them. Design a raise day ritual that your brain will remember. Money is behavior, and behavior loves ceremony. On raise day, you do 6 things in order. You adjust your automatic transfers to match the policy. You update your one-page money note with the new percentages. You identify one small friction purchase you'll do this week, the lamp, the shelf, the meal prep boxes. You schedule one experience that costs less than dinner out and pays you back in mood, a hike, a class, a game night. You text someone who rooted for you and say thank you. You take a photo of the screen where the investing number went up. That's it. Joy, gratitude, proof. The ceremony teaches your body that raises are for design, not drift. Add guardrails because you will have days when you want to torch the policy. Guardrail 1, a never below percentage that you keep going to investing even in tough months, maybe 5% while you catch up on a big bill, then back to your target. Guardrail 2, a cap on lifestyle increases per year, a number you choose in euros that is enough to feel but not enough to haunt you. Guardrail 3, a pause and resume rule. If you must pause a transfer for 1 month due to a real emergency, you add an extra notch the first month you're stable to restore the slope. The point is not to punish, it's to preserve the identity of someone who captures raises on purpose. If you share money, choreograph together. Lifestyle creep loves couples because it sneaks in through 2 doors. You stop it by writing a joint raise policy before numbers change. Agree on how much goes to joint goals, investing, emergency fund, down payment, how much to individual no questions fun, and which upgrade projects win first. The mattress, the pantry, fixing the drafty window. Put big temptations, new car, big move, fancy travel behind a 30-day decision gate with an actual calendar date to discuss. Nothing is forever. Some things are not this quarter. That phrase will save you thousands and more than a few arguments. Make your near-term goals loud so your raise has somewhere to land besides the mall. Create named sinking funds with dates. Sabotage 2027, Summer Travel 2026, Home Refresh, Tuition, New Bike. Add amounts, automate small monthly transfers. When you watch those balances rise, you feel rich without buying noise. Money wants a job. If you don't give it one, retail will. Goals beat creep because goals are futures you chose, not defaults you accepted. Your calendar is the best anti-creep device you own. Creep thrives when evenings blur and weekends disappear into errands and scrolls. Use a slice of the raise to buy time that changes your week. Grocery delivery for a season, a cleaner twice a month, childcare swap night with friends, a standing walking date, a class that makes sweat normal. Time you enjoy costs less than time you resent. When your week feels better, you buy fewer band-aids. The point of money was never the object. It was the calendar you could finally own.
If your raise was large, the risk isn't a little creep. It's a complete identity remodel. Big money tries to rewrite your friends, your habits, and your taste in hidden ways. Slow the tape. For 6 months, adopt a look, don't leap rule on any change that would be hard to reverse. Rent the nicer neighborhood Airbnb for a weekend instead of signing a lease. Test drive the daily latte by preloading a card and seeing whether you still want it when the card is empty. Borrow the fancy gear before you buy it. Big changes feel like destiny in the first week and like obligations in the third. Write the second week into your policy. Give your future self a raise chart. Track the last 3 years of your take-home, your investing rate, and your cash buffer on a single page. Each time you capture a piece of a raise, update the line. When motivation dips, look at the slope. Lifestyle creep tells you nothing is happening, your chart tells the truth. It takes 90 seconds to update, and it turns an invisible win into a visible one. Most people never see their own progress because their accounts are scattered and their attention is rented by apps. Take your attention back with one page. Reprice your vices. After a raise, the old indulgences feel cheap. That's how creep convinces you to upgrade everything at once. Instead, choose one indulgence to raise the quality on and consciously downshift one that doesn't move the needle. Better coffee, cheaper beer. Better sheets, simpler shoes. Better therapist, fewer novelty gadgets. You're not depriving yourself, you're editing. Editing is the adult version of taste. Taste keeps money from turning into clutter and regret. Expect the psychological pushback called hedonic adaptation. Humans normalize quickly. The new apartment stops thrilling you the 33rd time you take out the trash. That's not a sign to keep upgrading. It's a sign to feed novelty through experiences and growth, not through rent and payments. Put a slice of the raise into first times. A class, a trip to a town you've never visited, a skill that makes daily life feel upgraded from the inside. Cooking, speaking, dancing. Experiences scratch the novelty itch without enrolling you in a subscription to impress strangers. Use your raise to get cheaper at everything else. Call providers, internet, phone, insurance, and negotiate. The money calls routine paired with a raise captures 2 wins at once: more income and lower outflow. Lock in discounts or switch providers while you're already in a change mindset. Then route those new savings into your policy buckets. Creep hates this because it feeds the part of you that believes you deserve more rather than the part of you that is willing to fight for it. Don't just earn more, keep more. Build a friction fund for once annoying purchases that prevent future spending. The right umbrella stops cab rides. The right jacket stops random "I need a hoodie" purchases. The right water bottle stops vending machines. The right sleep setup stops 11 p.m. online carts. Use a small slice of the raise to eliminate micro-leaks. A life that functions reduces impulse spend. Impulse is creep's favorite cousin. If your peers sprint into upgrades, you'll feel behind. That's an illusion created by payments, not wealth. Remind yourself that new is a marketing calendar, not a value system. The person with the quiet car that doesn't break, the small wardrobe that always works, and the account balances that don't need to perform on stage is not losing. They're winning in the only currency that compounds: freedom. Take joy in being slightly underdressed and vastly overfunded. The feeling you're after doesn't live in tags. It lives in Tuesday afternoons that aren't on fire. There will be months you slip. A subscription sneaks in. A trip costs double. A weekend turns into a restaurant tour. Don't spiral. Run the reset. Unsubscribe, sell one thing, skip one delivery, add one notch to savings next month, get back on plan. Guilt feeds creep because it convinces you you're the kind of person who can't stick to anything. You are the kind of person who can reset quickly. That identity is worth more than a perfect streak. When in doubt, aim raises at time and compounding. Time is what money buys that nobody teaches you to want. Compounding is what money does when you stop asking it to entertain you. Together, they create a life that feels calm even when the world looks like a push notification. If every raise buys a little more time and a lot more compounding, you will not notice lifestyle creep because you will be busy living. The kitchen will be warmer, the arguments will be shorter, the mornings will be less frantic. The spreadsheets will be quieter because they're doing their job without applause. Write a one-page anti-creep charter and keep it where you see it. It can be as simple as, every raise follows the 60-30-10 split. We upgrade friction before flex. We cap new fixed costs at 25% of the raise. We put big moves behind a 30-day gate. We name goals with dates. We automate the day after payday. We celebrate with experiences and thank yous. We reset without drama. Read it out loud on raise day. Then let the automations do the heavy lifting while you go enjoy the life you already had, now slightly easier. The point of money was never to prove you have it. The point was to buy the parts of life that make you smile when nobody is looking. The walk after dinner, the light over the table, the trip you planned together, the Wednesday you didn't fill with panic. A raise can buy those on purpose. Or it can buy a bigger bill that demands proof every month. Outsmart lifestyle creep by answering the raise with a plan. Policy, automation, limits, chosen upgrades, named goals, and a calendar full of the people and habits that make wealth feel like what it always was supposed to be. Options, quiet, and time spent on the right things.